Hi guys, this is Sidney. So in this video today, I wanted to share some channel messages and some guidance relating to all this energies that are affecting us and supporting us to go through some emotional stuff right now, to release, to work on, and to repattern things at this time or integrate that on an individual level could be very challenging because the energy is very intense and high in frequency right now. So it's going to really trigger any shadow aspect or the lower vibration energies that have been there in a form of trauma could be really being triggered at this time. And so the message that came from the source yesterday was from this song, I believe, by Kelly Clarkson, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. So as I was meditating with that, the message behind or the meaning behind it is that we need to look at the idea of pain in a different way and expand our perspective. And that can really help us to work with these energies right now that are really helping us to purge out and to clear old karma. And so you are going to make room within your energy field so that these new light codes, the high frequency right now, the healing codes, the fifth dimensional gold print codes, and all of these codes to come down, and you can have the room to absorb, integrate, and anchor that down, and also help these new lights to regenerate, and upgrade your DNA at this time. So our body is also, or the physical vessel is also getting prepared for the new earth, and that's why we are doing this huge emotional release at this time. And I received the information that on the 22nd of October we're going to have a huge high frequency portal. So the energy had been very intense, a lot of activations, a lot of triggers for everybody in the collective basically. So it just looks different, or it may feel different, and we are all going through something at this moment, depending on which season or the level of journey that you are in. So just to remind you that we just need to honor where we are and honor our own journey. And it's easy to compare and go into the old pattern because we still have, a lot of people still have that pattern right now. So that for those of you, I just want to remind you to keep focusing on yourself. The more we go into comparison and, get into that judgment, the duality consciousness right now, the more you get pulled down with this energy instead of elevate yourself. So it's not really effective or productive in the sense to compare yourself. So just honor where you are, or use this opportunity as a practice for you to keep honoring and keep focusing on your inner world. Because I know that when we were in survival, we used to use a lot of our energies to focus our attention on the outside world and what's going on with other people, their lives, and what's going in the world, is because we needed these informations to have a strategy so that we could survive and come up with a plan to survive. And that's where we mainly focused on. And that was the age of darkness. But we are moving into the age of light right now. And so we need to shift everything. So that's where all these energies are shaking things up right now. So we are going from the outer to the inner. Okay, so I just want you to keep working on yourself if you're in that place. So the message behind that was when we are in this victim state, because in the age of survival, what happens is we are constantly living inside the idea of limitation that have been conditioned and placed on us physically. So for example, you go to work, or you are in a school setting, or you are in some sort of an institution, and then what happens is you are treated like a part in a conveyor belt, basically. So that's where we learn to be productive, and that's where we are trained to achieve more and produce more. And it's not for ourselves, but for a certain authority figures. It's a very centralized system. It's very dualistic system where it's dominantly operated on reward and punishment. So we are healing all the wounds or the traumas that we inherited from living under the system right now. So what happens is the idea of pain, we tend to associate that right now on a subconscious level, is relating to this reality or the life that is happening. So we tend to see pain as life itself, which is not the truth, but that's how we've been conditioned to view it as on a subconscious level. So when that takes place, immediately we are going to be afraid of pain. And so what we are going to do is we are going to try to either run away from pain, or hide ourselves from pain, or try to fight the pain, or try to hate the pain, or try to not want the pain. And so all these are created from the ego, the duality aspect of what I like, what I don't like, and what. So usually what that's going to bring in is going to trigger this duality consciousness, and then it's going to lead us into keeping ourselves in the judgment state on a subconscious level, and that's going to trigger us to create narratives inside our mind now that's going to generate even bigger energy that is in alignment with this lower frequency. And that's when we start to feel that on an emotional level, because now these stories are connected to our heart center, it starts to generate emotions that are in the same frequency. And so we are going to start to feel it in our heart center, and we start to project that outside, which we see and experience as reality. And so right now, that's all how it's working. And so when that happens, you're going to say, why is this happening? Or I don't like to feel this, or I don't want this, I want this to go away, or what did I do wrong? And so it's just lowering your vibration with all these immediate reactions that's coming as a form of self-talk, or this narratives inside your mind. So instead of going down that way, because when that is being repeated, we're in the old cycle or the old patterning, meaning your old timeline. So these are all just terms or words that we currently use. So I want you to just take however it resonates for you, is always the one that is going to be for you. So it's just simply, these are words that we are using. And so instead of being triggered and going down that road, another perspective that I want to introduce you to, if you resonate to adopt, is that you want to approach seeing or perceiving pain as your guide, or a friend, or a message, or a messenger, or a tool, or a resource at this time. Because the reason why we want to shift our perspective that way is because you're not losing your power. Because when we saw pain as life that is taking place right now, or the reality, what happens is we are a victim, meaning that pain is overpowering my life, and it's restricting me, it's limiting me, it's imprisoning me. I have nowhere to go. It's keeping me in the suffering, you see? But it's all an illusion, because these are just ideas and concepts, and usually we create our realities with some of the images. That's why imagination is very important. What you envision creates your reality. And so what you want to do is, instead of being as if you're a victim of circumstance, you're going to sit with it, from a place of neutrality. So you're going to shift from duality to neutrality at this moment in order to align your frequency to that of the fifth dimensional earth, because the neutrality will be the base perspective in the new earth. So when you see pain, you're just going to see it as pain and you're going to end it there. We're not going to go into thinking overly, which we refer to as overthinking. And what motivates or really activates overthinking is the fear in the subconscious, which is from the survival. And so when we are feeling afraid or threatened, what happens is we are immediately going into the mind, trying to come up with a plan, trying to get information from the outside as much as possible to build my walls, or the castle that nothing can really penetrate, or that I am safe, right? Or I have more power, like the army or the soldiers, to to fight against these forces that are coming to take me down. So you see this, so that's a lot of wars and conflicts with the outside world. So that's where we've been using our energy all the time. So now what we are doing is we are shifting our patterning of using our energy with the focus and attention all on the outside to shift that into the inner, which is going to be the basis again of the fifth dimensional earth, of how we are going to live. And so with that, we are going to see pain as a resource. So when you feel pain, what you're going to do is you're just going to sit with it and say, what is this trying to tell me right now? And where am I really feeling the pain? And that's when you start to shift your attention, as if the pain is outside of you. Now your attention is inside you. You see, that's how it's shifting right now. And in that moment, you're not a victim, because you see, you are in charge. You're in charge of observing and trying to figure out yourself. And you're not overly thinking and going into the worries of something, or the idea of something trying to overpower you, or trying to kill you, or trying to put you down, trying to paralyze you, you see? And so in that moment, you're going to say, okay, how can I utilize this now? How can I utilize this? And when you are sitting with the pain, you're going to sit with it. Therefore, it's going to start to run through you, you see, because you're not creating this resistance with overthinking or the judgment. Because immediately when you have a judgment on it, it starts to separate and it starts to create a blockage in our energy points called chakras. And so you're just going to sit with it and allow them to flow through. And while you are doing that, you don't need to put in a lot of effort. The information will arrive. That's how it's going to work with the heart center. The information that you need, the messages that you need, will come to the surface for you in its own divine timing, as you're just being in that place of neutrality, sitting with it and trying to see that as your resource. And with that, another message that came from Source yesterday was think with your heart. So that is another fifth dimensional gold print right now that we need to embody. We need to think with our heart. And this heart has its own brain, intuition. This is a portal. And because we lived in the age of survival, in the age of darkness, we overly went into the mind. And mind has its own good functions, but this is not the center. This is the center, but we've been using this as our own center overly, because that's what we needed to utilize in order to feel safe in a survival environment. And so what we are going to do is also shifting our operation overly from here to here, because when we are here, automatically here and here is aligned, you see? So in this state, we don't go overly into our mind trying to control everything outside, meaning control how people perceive you, control the people to behave in a certain way that's going to help you feel safe or benefit you in a way. So that's where this idea of using kindness as a strategy comes. That's taking place a lot and that we learned, in companies, in work situations, in relationships, because a lot is based on this duality and fear, and therefore we are creating a lot of codependency and this power dynamic, the power struggle of someone is in a higher position of power than you and you are in a lower, and we are constantly trying to survive, trying to see what's more advantageous for me to be in, to position yourself, you see. So that's all with this mind. And this mind is very good for strategizing, planning, categorizing, organizing. But again, this is not the center. So we want to go back to our center and the source and the portal and the essence that we can tap into and start remembering who we really are here. And so when you make a decision, you want to start making decision with your heart right now. And a lot of people at this time in the collective, from what I constantly tap into, they're in between having to choose something, right? Should I live this job? Should I go for this that I really enjoy? Or then how am I going to make a living out of this? Or is it really going to help me? And so it involves a lot of the decision making that's involving taking a risk in the unknown right now, that a lot of people are struggling to at this time, that they need to really look at all these old patterns through these struggles. So struggle also has a purpose in the sense right now, in the conflicts, inner conflicts that they're feeling. And through this process, it's going to be very challenging for you, because it's always going to be tempting to go back to the old patterns where you feel comfortable and felt safe that way, which was an illusion. So you need to get out of that, but it takes a lot of courage and going into this heart center. And that's where this word came from what I tapped into. And so you want to, for example, another one that came was, when you start to connect with joy, you will start to feel love. And that's something that you can also choose to utilize at this time if you resonate, because we're doing or we're dealing with a lot of inner child wounds at this time, where we've been living under a lot of oppression from the outside, from parent figures, from society, schools, a lot of other institutions that conditioned us to behave in a certain way or be a certain person, all the societal expectations, right? And so it had been really suppressing or forcing us to suppress our true nature, which is our true authentic expression. Therefore, a lot of our throat chakras blocked, right? And so right now, as you are doing a lot of healing, it's also involving your inner child wound healing. That's relating to parents or the father or the mother figure. And so if you resonate with this, that you're going through this right now, I made a video particularly on inner child wound healing and how to utilize this energy at this time on my latest video. So I'm going to put a link down below of that video in the description box here. So if you resonate, if you pull to learn more, you can go and watch it. And so right now, what you can also do is you want to go into your inner child and allow your inner child to express all that they wanted freely. So you could go back to the things that you really enjoyed when you were little, like dancing or being creative or doing this and doing that, because back then we didn't learn these conditions as much. So we didn't have a lot of fear back then. But right now we have so much fear. That's why it's so hard to take that risk in the unknown. Back then it was easier for us because the unknown was just the unknown. We didn't have any concept or image about it that we were being taught, right? And so that's something that you can start to utilize at this time to intentionally and consciously choose to connect with activities or any things that makes you feel joyful right now, makes you feel inspired, makes you feel passionate. And that's going to start to connect you to your heart center. It's going to heal your inner child wound and also allows you to tap into yourself. Therefore, when we are here, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get into the state of neutrality, whereas you're in this other state of here and then trying to get into neutrality, because already overly here, it means we are heavily in duality. So you want to connect with joy and then starts to generate love and start to come down here. So when you're operating from here, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get into neutrality because you have less resistance within your energy field in that moment. You see, that's how you can utilize right now. And once you're in here, you're going to start to connect to that despite what's going on in the outside world, you see? Because you're choosing your reality, you're creating your own environment. So with that, another one leading to that was you want to start building and nurture this beautiful home within, that your inner child feels safe to play around, be goofy, silly, laugh, and be unique or weird or authentic, or however you resonate with these words. Just be yourself at this time, and without the fearing how others or the world will view you, which is a lot of judgment, right, that we've been living under. And so we are also healing this feeling not good enough at this time, that we are unable to express who we really are because we are afraid of being punished, and we are being afraid of other people's opinions. And that had been coming from the conditioning from the society, from the current system that we are all built based on duality structure. That, for example, if you're an artist, you're a creative, and you were inspired and made you feel joyful to just sing or just to write these songs or to draw this or to make this or create this. It doesn't have to be in the form of art in the sense that drawing or singing. It could be a creation of a product out of an idea, right? It could be anything. And when you had that, you put it out, and then what happens? These institutions that that hold certain power as authority, now they're critiquing your work, right? I like this part, but this part I didn't like it, or that part is good, but this one is blah, or that is blah, or a lot of critiquing here and there. And so with that, we start to build a lot of, or take on this projection, and therefore have a lot of self-doubt. And the creativity is blocked in our sacral chakra. So it's usually how it's working, right? And so in order for us to get out of this pattern, because on an individual level we are working to restructure like this, and on a societal level, in all areas in the society right now, there are people working to rebuild, and there are new souls, the younger ones, the younger generations, the star seeds with the soul gold print, that they're going to take the leadership to rebuild and restructure these things. So these are all taking place behind the scenes. So what we are needing to focus on first and foremost is ourselves right now, okay? Yourself restructuring, yourself connecting with joy so that you feel love and free. Because when you are in that energy, what happens is we are all connected as a collective at large. So we are one at large, you see? So you're feeding this energy to the collective. And in another sense, you can help humanity that way. You can help other people that way instead of you trying to put your attention outside of yourself, neglect yourself in trying to help someone else or save someone else right now at this time. You need to elevate your energy level and stabilize this frequency of fifth dimensional energy within yourself first. That is the mission, I would say, that we are all on right now until 2032 at least. So with that, I'm gonna end my video here today. And so today you may hear some background music, which is the 963 hertz frequency. So that's I just play that on to help you cleanse your aura and also to activate your third eye here, so you could start to see through the illusion and then merge or integrate this duality, this two eyes, the left and right, integrate as one. You see the triangle here, merge, integrate, and then see through the duality, meaning the illusion, you see right now. So I hope that it supports you that way. And you could utilize a lot of music. Oh, okay, before I go, you could utilize on a practical level some frequency hertz, like 963 is good for activating your pineal gland. 528 is good for helping you support going through the positive transformation right now, for example, and DNA regeneration. And another thing is get out in the sun, especially when you're feeling triggered, or you're in an environment where there's a lot of negativity, or people with negative energies arguing and in conflict, or you sense something. You can remove yourself on a physical level like that to shift yourself and place yourself in an environment that is more in alignment with the fifth dimensional energy, that is the nature. And energy is contagious, so when you are there and connecting, you're going to feel a lot better. And then especially with the sun right now, as I was connecting with the sun also shared with me a message that when you're out in the sun right now, the more time you spend in the sun, the better, because it's not only going to transmute all this, clear up all the lower vibrational energies with the ray of the sun at this time, but also it's going to brighten you, brighten you up in a way, like in terms of emotions, and feel you makes you feel lifted up. And then also it's going to bring down a lot of the healing codes, the light codes, the fifth dimensional gold print codes directly to you, so you can embody this while you are out. And it's better to be in nature as well, in barefoot, so that you could move this energy through your chakra and anchor that down to the earth through your earth star chakra. And right now a lot of archangels are working on this fifth dimensional rays. And from the information I received, Archangel Raphael is available for anyone who's going to connect and receive the healing codes, the new health blueprint or the gold print. And also the Archangel Metatron is working on helping us to activate our stellar gateway chakra right now, to allow or help us to anchor down or receive the fifth dimensional golden light at this time for ascension. Okay, so with that, I almost forgot, this is also something that you can do very easily, and that's very simple, is that right before you fall asleep or you're about to wake up, our brain is in a theta brainwave state, which is very good for absorbing information and downloading to our subconscious. So it's very effective. Use the theta brainwave state to reprogram our subconscious mind. So because we are dealing with all of these wounds that is coming down at the end, we took this idea that we are not good enough right now, we are all trying to heal from. Something that you can do is when you're in this state, you can say, I am who I am as I am, and that is enough. I am who I am as I am, and that is enough. I am who I am as I am, and that is enough. And you can say these 3 times and activate this Christ consciousness code within yourself that's already with you. So you can utilize that and activate this more as you are saying that. And when you say I am, what happens is your monad is immediately activated and you're aligned with your higher consciousness, your higher self, your soul, your spirit. And so that's where you feel aligned and you start to activate that essence that is you, the true you. Okay, so I hope this also helps you at this time for those who resonate and are willing to try out or utilize as your tool at this time. So with that, that's all for today, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye.